Let's see, I've been on the road now full time in my Northern Light camper for going on 5 years now, and I like to boondock in places for a couple of weeks and ride my KTM dirt bike around and explore every road that I could find, and even go where there's no roads. So, in doing that, if you hang out too long in one spot, rats and mice and other rodents will come and explore your campers, what they'll do, and they can get into there, believe me, anywhere. I've had them in the cab of my truck, yeah, because I left the back window open one time, and rats got in there and just chewed the hell out of all my paper towels, and just looking for something to eat. Matter of fact, they chewed the nipple off of my water drink system on my backpack and chewed into my backpack and got to some granola bars in there, yeah. And then also wherever I park now, I leave the hood, I crack it open about 4 inches so light goes in there so the rat doesn't build a nest under your hood and chew on your wires. Well, that doesn't really work. Maybe it does a little bit, but not all the way. So now I leave the damn hood completely wide open. I don't care if rain or snow or hail gets in there. There ain't gonna be no rats living under my hood. So I've had encounters with rats trying to live on my truck, inside of it, yeah. So it was a couple of nights ago, I was sitting here on the computer and something caught my eye, and I looked over to the kitchen, and I'll be damned if there wasn't a rat on my kitchen cutting board. Yeah. How did he get in here? Because this camper is totally sealed off. There's no way a rat or a mouse can get inside this camper. Well, I got to thinking, and then I thought, hey, I know the screen door underneath's got a fuzzy little broom thing on it. I don't know why they designed the door to have a broom type thing under it. You can stick your hand right through it. So if you have your screen door shut and your other door open, and you go off somewhere maybe for a few hours, a day, or who knows what, a rat is going to find a way to get into your camper. Now this is the only way that a rat could get into my camper. This is the screen door, and under the screen door is kind of a brush kind of a thing. I can stick my hand through there. So if you've got your door shut, your screen door shut, and you're away or whatever, a rat or a mouse can go right underneath here inside your camper. I'm going to put a piece of plastic across this to stop that. That's just not acceptable. He's going to go underneath that little fuzzy thing, and now you got a rat infestation. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the makings to make me a 5-gallon bucket rat trap. So wherever I go, wherever I park, I'm going to put that bucket on the ground, baited. So if any rats and mice come around, they're going to go for that first before they try to attack my truck and the camper inside. So I'm gonna make it out of what I've got here, and I'm gonna video it so you folks can see how the old man lives full time on the road. Here are some of the tools that I'm going to use to make my rat trap out of a 5-gallon bucket and the lid that you see everything that's on top of it. Vice grips M2 cutters, needle nose pliers, a punch, nut and bolts and some washers so I could use that as a counterweight, a hacksaw blade to cut the hole in the lid, and a Sharpie to mark it with. So let's get on and see how I can put this thing together with what I got here. Because I want this center to have clearance to pivot inside the lid, I'm going to trim 1/4 inch off the edge. Next, I'm going to use some fine welding rod and I'm going to make a hinge out of it so this pivots up back and forth. So when Ratty Magoo steps on this, it goes down and into the bucket he goes. Using a piece of welding rod with the vice grips, I heated it over the stove and I burned some holes through the lid here so I can make a pivot point for it as a hinge. So this guy's gonna tilt back and forth. Now I'm going to make the hinge part. So I take this is my pivot that's going to go across, and this is going to be the hinge. So I'm going to simply take this wire and bend it around. That right there. Cut that bad boy. And slip it through these 2 holes. And what I'll do on the other side here is I'll just bend these guys over. And this is going to give me my hinge part. So when Ratty Magoo steps on this, it's going to tilt. To make sure that this pivoting platform stays level, I'm going to put a counterweight to hold it down. So when it flips over, it'll always flip back up. So what I've done is I just took a piece of wire and wrapped it around this, and I've got these washers here that I'm going to use them. I might use 2, I might use them all, but that's my counterweight here to make sure. I want to make it so it's adjustable. There's my counterweight. So when Ratty Magoo steps on this thing, it's going to flip down. He's going to go in the bucket, and then it's going to come back up. Okay, there's kind of the finished product right there. You're looking at the underneath. This part's going to go inside the bucket. And I don't have a glue gun. So what I use shoe glue a lot. Shoe glue's kind of my best friend here. I use it to repair a lot of stuff. But anyway, what I did is I made 2 little tabs right here to keep the pivot centered, so it'll stick. It won't be sliding side by side. And I shoe glued them down onto there, There's my counterweight that I can adjust the flap so that it'll always stay level. And that's about it. I'm wait for this to set up, and I'm going to put this inside my camper tonight, and I'm going to catch that dirty little rat that chewed on my mango. Got my ratty magoo trap all set up here. I've velcroed a cap off a bottle onto the lid, and I filled it full of peanut butter, and I put a little dab of cheese on the top just to make it extra fragrant for him to come. And once he steps up and tries to go for that, it's going to dump him right down in the dumper. Took me about maybe an hour and a half to put this thing together with just nothing but wire. You can use a coat hanger and baling wire and a little shoe glue. I use shoe glue, or you could use a glue gun. Happy ratting!